In the world of professional football, the difference between winning and losing often comes down to inches, to seconds, to the smallest of decisions. Every play is measured, every detail analyzed, and every advantage, no matter how slight, can be the difference between glory and heartbreak. Teams spend millions trying to unlock that edge. Coaches stay up through the night breaking down film, searching for patterns, habits, and tells that could provide even the slightest upper hand. But what happens when that search for an edge crosses the line? What happens when one of the most dominant, most admired, and most feared teams in NFL history is accused of doing just that, crossing that line? In 2007, the New England Patriots weren't just good, they were historic. With a roster stacked top to bottom and arguably the greatest quarterback-coach pairing of all time in Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, the Patriots steamrolled through the NFL. They didn't just beat teams, they dismantled them, they embarrassed them. Their offense was surgical, their defense disciplined, and their aura unstoppable. They went undefeated in the regular season, finishing 16-0, only the second team in NFL history to do so. To fans, it felt like watching destiny unfold. To rivals, it felt like watching a machine, cold, ruthless, and perfect. But what made it all so eerie was how predictive they seemed. The Patriots weren't just prepared, they looked like they knew what was coming before it happened. And maybe, just maybe, they did. That season, the NFL uncovered a secret, a scandal that would call everything into question. The New England Patriots had been caught filming the defensive signals of opposing teams from unauthorized locations, violating league rules in a clear, calculated, and premeditated fashion. It would become known as Spygate. But it wasn't just about a single tape or a single game. It hinted at something bigger, something older, something systemic. This wasn't an isolated event. Whispers turned into reports. Reports turned into investigations. And investigations turned into accusations that this tactic had helped build a dynasty. The NFL moved swiftly. They issued record-setting fines. They stripped the Patriots of a first-round draft pick. But even more shocking was what they did after that. They destroyed the evidence. The very tapes that could have confirmed or disproved the scale of the operation were gone. Burned, shredded, deleted. Just like that. Why? What were they trying to hide? And how far had the Patriots really gone? This is the story of how one of the most successful franchises in football history found itself at the center of a scandal that shook the sport and forced everyone to ask a dangerous question. Did the Patriots cheat their way to greatness? The 2007 New England Patriots weren't just a team. They were a statement. Coming off a season where they felt slighted and overlooked, head coach Bill Belichick and quarterback Tom Brady came into the year with vengeance on their mind. They wanted to dominate, to humiliate, and to leave no doubt. In the offseason, the team made a move that would elevate them from great to unstoppable. They acquired Randy Moss, a generational talent at wide receiver. Moss brought blistering speed, jaw-dropping catches, and a vertical threat that made the Patriots' offense nearly impossible to stop. With Brady's precision and Moss's explosiveness, the offense became a juggernaut. Every week, they carved up defenses. Final scores looked like college blowouts. They set records, shattered expectations, and gave off the impression that they were always one step ahead, sometimes two. Other teams began to wonder, how were they this sharp? How did they anticipate blitzes so perfectly? Why were they always in the right place at the right time? Some coaches began altering their signals before games with New England. Others resorted to towel codes and misdirection. But nothing seemed to matter. The Patriots kept winning. And not just winning, dominating. Belichick was already known for his intense preparation. He studied every detail, every down, every tendency. But this was something different. This wasn't just being prepared. This felt like foreknowledge. And in Week 1 of the 2007 season, the truth began to surface. September 9th, 2007. The Patriots face the New York Jets at the Meadowlands. The game unfolds as expected. New England wins convincingly. But behind the scenes, something far more important was happening. A Jets staffer notices a man on the Patriots sideline filming the Jets' defensive coaches. That's not normal. And more importantly, it's not legal. The Jets notify NFL security. The man is quickly identified as a Patriots video assistant. And here's the issue. He wasn't filming for highlight reels or social media. He was specifically targeting live defensive signals. That is a direct violation of league rules. And it wasn't a misunderstanding, it was intentional. The NFL launches an immediate investigation, and what they uncover confirms their worst fears. This wasn't the first time it had happened. The Patriots had a system. They had done this before, not just once. 4 days later, the punishment comes down hard. Bill Belichick is fined $500,000, the largest fine ever levied against an NFL coach. The team is hit with another $250,000 fine. And perhaps most importantly, they lose a first-round pick in the 2008 NFL Draft. Belichick issues a carefully worded statement, saying he misinterpreted the rules. But almost no one buys it, especially not the NFL, who confirmed he had been warned about the exact rule before. This wasn't a case of ambiguity. This was a case of arrogance. But then the NFL did something that stunned even the most jaded observers. They destroyed the tapes. All of them. Tapes. Notes. Diagrams. All collected during the investigation. Gone. Destroyed under the personal direction of Commissioner Roger Goodell. The official explanation? To prevent the information from being used again. But to many, that sounded like a cover-up. Why destroy evidence that could clarify the truth? Why eliminate the very thing that could tell us how deep the scandal went? Reporters, former players, and even members of Congress began asking questions. If the Patriots had been filming teams for years, what kind of archive had they built? What secrets did those tapes contain? The deeper journalists looked, the darker the picture became. Multiple sources claimed the Patriots had developed a full library of opposing team signals, broken down and cataloged for future use. They knew which coaches used which hand gestures. They knew what specific body language meant in certain formations. They knew everything. And the most damning accusation came from the 2001 St. Louis Rams. In Super Bowl 36, the underdog Patriots defeated the high-powered Rams in a shocking upset. But years later, some Rams players began to wonder, were the Patriots playing fair? New England's defense was absurdly well prepared. They jumped routes. They sniffed out plays before they happened. Some Rams suspected the Patriots had taped their final walkthrough, the last practice before the Super Bowl. The NFL denied that claim. The Patriots denied it too. But the accusation lingered. It never fully went away. And with the evidence destroyed, it can't be proved or disproved. What is clear is that the line between preparation and cheating had been crossed. In the NFL, film study is legal. Pattern recognition is part of the game. But using in-game footage of live defensive signals recorded from unauthorized locations with the intent to decode them in real time? That's not strategy. That's cheating. Despite the scandal, the 2007 Patriots were nearly perfect. Tom Brady threw 50 touchdown passes, a new record. Randy Moss caught 23 of them, another record. They finished the regular season 16-0, becoming the first team to do so since the 1972 Dolphins. But when it came time for the Super Bowl, something changed. The New York Giants stunned the football world with a 17-14 victory, ending the Patriots' quest for a perfect season. And for some, it was proof that without their edge, the Patriots were beatable. Spygate didn't end the Patriots' dynasty, but it forever tainted it. Fans began to question their early Super Bowl victories, all of which were razor-thin wins. What if just a handful of stolen signals tilted those games? What if those margins weren't earned, but manipulated? Belichick's legacy took a hit. Once revered as a tactical genius, he was now branded by some as a rules violator. Tom Brady, though not directly implicated, wasn't immune either, especially when Deflategate exploded years later. Across the league, teams changed how they operated. Signal calling became more complex. Teams used towels to block cameras. Some rotated signal callers to confuse opponents. Trust had been shattered, and some believe it still hasn't recovered. But the greatest mystery of Spygate isn't what we know. It's what we don't. We don't know how many games were impacted. We don't know how many teams were filmed. We don't know if playoff runs were compromised. We don't know if championships were stolen. Because the evidence is gone. Commissioner Goodell's decision to destroy the tapes ensured that we would never have a full picture. And in doing so, the NFL may have buried the truth in favor of damage control. The result? An entire era of football now lives under a shadow. So, were the Patriots masterminds of football strategy? Or were they masterminds of deception? And their success cannot be denied. Neither can their violation of the rules. Supporters argue they still had to execute. that even with signals, you have to stop the play, you have to throw the pass, you have to make the catch. But critics say Spygate gave them the unfair edge they needed in the most critical moments. It turned close games into wins. It turned a dynasty into a question mark. The truth likely lives in the gray area, where preparation meets paranoia, and greatness is stained by ambition gone too far. Spygate remains one of the darkest chapters in modern NFL history. And with the tapes gone, some questions will never have answers. Were the Patriots cheaters? Were they champions? Or were they both? Let us know what you think in the comments. And if you want more deep dives into the NFL's biggest controversies, scandals, and secrets, subscribe now. Because sometimes the truth in the NFL isn't hidden. It's shredded.